Greetings, Dr. Dominique Reese here, owner of Reese Financial Services, and I am the Chief Financial Coach and Planner. And so today I am bringing you a training that is going to help you learn how to shift your mindset. And this is very important to any work that we begin regarding our finances because we all have a financial blueprint that is completely controlling what we know and what we do with our money. Ultimately, that's impacting our net worth. And so, in this training, I am going to share with you the four must haves that you need in order to shift your mindset from a limiting mindset to a motivating mindset, and or to simply shed the things that may not serve you any longer in your financial life. So what I'm going to do now is shift to this training. This training is about 20 minutes or so, so stick around. I want you to get all of the information. It's going to be very impactful, very to the point, and it's going to allow for you to take action throughout the training. So what I'm going to suggest is that you print a copy of the attached download that came with this training. It should be in the form of a PDF. If you can, go ahead and print that out. If you're not able to, simply use a journal where you can take notes based on the questions that are asked in that worksheet. And I want you to do this for real, okay? Don't just listen to it. And you know what? It's okay if you do listen to it and then go back and do it again, but more than likely you may not. So I'm going to encourage you to, the first go round, go ahead and get something that you take notes in, that you refer back to, that you can digest, because everything in divine order, there's no busy work here. Everything I'm asking you to do is intentional and deliberate. And again, we're training our subconscious minds to understand what we want it to do. All right? So let's dive right into the training. Here we are. Awesome. So this training again is the four must-haves to shift your money mindset so you master money skill sets to know better, do better, and grow your net worth quickly. So why master my money, right? What is it? Why does it matter? Master My Money is the brand I created to house all of the financial solutions I offer. But what that means to you is that I want you to begin to master your conversations about money, your mindsets about money, and your skill sets about money. Why are these three things important? Well, they're important because the conversations we have tend to dictate the behaviors that we implement. I want you to talk about money in a very normal way. I want money to be a part of the conversations that you're having, and not from a place of lack, from a place of abundance, from a place of confidence, a place of clarity, right? Mindsets. We all have mindsets about everything. Mindsets dominate how we live. And so, whatever you believe about money is what is showing up in your financial life. So, if there's something that is showing up that you don't want and it's no longer serving you, we have to go to the core. And the core is your mindset, it's what you believe about money. Then lastly, the skill sets. Skill sets are so important because that's all about what you know how to do. A lot of times people say, well, I don't know how to save. I don't know how to budget. I don't know how to plan for my retirement. These are all actions. These are all to-dos. There are things you must do in order to grow your money, in order to build assets, in order to increase your net worth. But if you don't know how to do those things, chances are you're not doing them. So what's at stake? Your net worth, your future, your legacy, the lifestyle you want to lead. So this is why we master our money. This is why I've created this brand. This is why we focus on behavior and numbers. Okay? So what does it mean to you to know better and do better? We know the saying. The saying goes, when you know better, you do better. I've learned that is not the case. Just because we know better does not mean we do better. And there's a reason for that. Literally, there is a neurological explanation as to why we don't do the things we know to do, especially if those things serve us. And it has everything to do with our financial blueprint. So I am going to use the word blueprint as a interchangeable term when I am talking about your mindset, okay? Your mindset and your blueprint are going to be equivalent for the purposes of this training. I use the term blueprint because I want you to be able to understand a physical or tangible idea of what I'm talking about. Mindset can tend to be a little abstract for some people, and so it's hard to grasp or wrap your mind around what that really means. So we'll use the term blueprint, right? Like a home, an architect builds a home. We don't start building without a blueprint. It is the foundation of what we're going to build, just like our money. So I really love this term blueprint. But what does it mean to you to know better and do better? And I want you to pause this training if you need to so that you can start to take notes and answer this question truthfully and honestly. Because if you know that you know things, but you're not doing them, this is how we're going to get to the core of why and how you're going to be able to shift and change that. Another question for you is, why is it important to you to grow your net worth? Now, this may seem obvious at first, but it's always important to know your why. Knowing your why becomes a motivating factor in the future because it's not going to always be an easy road. There's going to be some times when you don't want to be disciplined. There's going to be times when you don't want to put that money away, or you rather splurge it on something that makes you feel good in the now versus putting it away for later. So you need to understand what your why is so that you can come back to that. And even if you don't take the proper action at the time, you are still training your subconscious mind to understand that this is the reason why I'm doing this. This is the reason why I work and make money. This is the reason why I want to save. This is the reason why I appreciate seeing several zeros in my bank account. This is the reason why. Your why matters. And so it's important that you take time to write it out. And again, we're training our subconscious mind when we do that to understand what we need it to do, because our subconscious minds are built to do exactly what we tell it to do. And so this is another reason why it's important that we examine our blueprint, because our blueprint is the foundation for what our subconscious mind is pulling from. So whatever is there in that blueprint, your subconscious mind is going back to that as a reference to say, oh, this is how she wants to do things. Oh, this is how he values things. So we need to attack both of those things, your blueprint and your understanding of why, so that we are beginning to either untrain and unlearn the things that are there and no longer serving us, or and retraining and relearning the things we do want to know. So our subconscious mind is then pulling from the right references. So what is preventing you from having the financial success you desire? And I want you to answer this question from the perspective of everything you could think of, literally all the factors. Is it because you're not making enough money? Is it because you don't save enough money? Is it because you spend too much money? Is it because you take care of your family? Is it because you tend to put others over yourself? Is it because you're only paying bills and that's what you're used to doing? Is it because you're waiting for something else to happen before you can do something else? Is it because you're scared? Is it because you don't know? Is it because you've done it before and you've got burned? What is preventing you from having the financial success you desire? Can you pinpoint what that is? And if you can, again, now we're making some progress. Everything I'm asking you to answer is intentional. Take some time and answer this question thoughtfully. Lastly, do you want to change your current financial situation? Sometimes I work with clients and they seem pretty okay where they are. And it's not until we start to dive a little deeper into mindset that they realize, yes, I want to change this, but I may not be ready. I may not be ready to make the changes I need to make because that has a bigger implication. And that implication is usually a lifestyle change. right? If you're going to save more, that means you're spending less. That means you're not out shopping as often as you like. That means you may sacrifice a little bit more than you've been used to. So those are real life changes that impact your day to day. You may have to go without, your favorite subscription for 30 days. Is that a lifestyle change you're willing to make? You may need to downgrade your car. Is that a lifestyle change you're willing to make? This is where the rubber meets the road in your financial journey. Are you ready? Do you want to change your current financial situation? Answer that truthfully. And more importantly, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you halfway willing, right? Measure where you are with this question. So again, in this short training, you will learn the 4 must-have concepts that you need to shift your money mindset so you can master money skill sets to know better, do better, and grow your net worth. I am going to make some assumptions in this training. And if you agree with these assumptions, then I want you to continue. If you do not agree with them, I think you should stop now. And the reason for that is I need you to be on board with these assumptions so that you're open to the information. Okay? I'll stop there and I'll let you do the work in terms of deciding if you want to continue. But the assumptions that I am going to make in this training are that mindset plus behavior equals outcome. And I'm going to talk more about that. But that's the way I've learned money operates. What you think about money dictates what you do and results in some outcome, favorable or unfavorable. Quick example. You may believe that you can't afford to save. Can't afford to save. Okay, well, if I can't afford to save, that's my mindset. My behavior is going to show that I am not saving. I will not transfer money to a savings account. I will not put money into a savings account. There will be no savings. What is that outcome? That outcome is that I will have zero savings in the bank. That outcome is that when an unexpected situation arises, I won't have any savings to help me take care of it. The outcomes are a result of what you believe and what you do. Mindset plus behavior equals outcome. I'm going to make the assumption that everything is energy, including money. I am an abundant. I believe in it. I believe money is all around me. I believe I can create it. I believe if I think it, I can have it. But I believe that money is energy. And energy is never destroyed or lost. It is simply transferred from one to another. Okay? And your mind is a file cabinet. And it has one file in it for finances. So if you can get on board with these assumptions, let's go to the next one. So what is in your file? Again, imagine your brain is a file cabinet. Your mind, it holds all of this information, right? All these things that you know, all these experiences that you have. That's the file cabinet. It houses what you believe about life, how you operate in life. In one of those drawers is a file that says finances on it. And in that file is housed everything that you believe about money, everything that has happened to you about money, everything that you've learned about money, everything that you saw, that you heard, that you've done. That's where it all lives. And as you learn new things, it goes in that file. As you don't do things, they just sit in that file. Okay? So I want you to start thinking about what's in your file. What is in your financial file? Are there things there that don't belong there anymore? Maybe they served you in college or in high school. Maybe they served you when you were only in survival mode. Maybe they served you when you just truly didn't have a dime to your name. Should those things be there? Is it time for you to clean out the file? What's in your file? What's in your file is a result of how you've been conditioned financially. And so what I mean by that is our conditioning happens in 3 ways typically. It's what we hear about finances and wealth, it's what we see about finances and wealth, and it's what we experience and do with finances and wealth. That is how we are conditioned to then have the mindsets that we're born with. to then have behaviors that are showing up in our adult life today. But it's a result of what's been modeled to us based on what we've heard, what we've seen, and what we've experienced. So, how do you feel about what's in your file? When you think about and list out the things that are there, the experiences that you've been through, how do you feel about it? Is it something that you want to stop, start, change, or continue? I always tell clients you can always do something about a situation. It's just a matter of what you want to do. You get to stop that behavior, you get to start a new behavior, you get to continue that behavior, or you get to switch it up and change that behavior. So the things that are in your file, how do you want to deal with them? And each thing needs to have its own action. That way, you're truly cleaning the file, right? We're scrubbing things. Certain things won't make the cut. Other things serve us very well. And then other things just shouldn't be there any longer. So we want to be sure that we get rid of it. So how do you change what's in your file? How does that actually happen? It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to know you want to do something about it. But how do you actually change it? What are those steps? Here's how. And so I learned this not too long ago, as I mentioned in a recent speaking engagement, that I started to do this work a few years ago. I've been on this journey for a while now in shifting my mindset and understanding what serves me financially. But when I came across this book by T. Harv Eker, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, it really helped to create tangible steps for how we can shift our mindset. And so what I have here is adopted from this book. Um, and here's how you do it. These are the four must-haves that you need in order to make a shift when it comes to your mindset. You need awareness. You need to have understanding of your past. You need to be able to disassociate from the past, and you need to be reconditioned. These are the four concepts we use to change what's in our files. So when you identify something that you don't want anymore, that you don't like anymore, whether it's a feeling, an action, a concept or belief, an experience, if you don't want to have anything else to do with those things, this is the process. These are the steps. These are the four must-haves that we use in order to get rid of them. And I'll give you a personal example. So this past Christmas, my son got lots and lots of gifts. And we're so blessed for that, right? Gifts are an act of appreciation, of love, gratitude, and you don't have to do anything to get a gift, right? Someone could just be thinking of you. But what I noticed, I found myself telling him that he could not open his gifts because he had enough open already, right? Don't open that today. You already got all this stuff open. Why do you want to open more? What are you going to have to open later? And as I caught myself literally saying that mid sentence, I had to realize this is a mindset that no longer serves me. And I didn't even realize the implications that it has until I had to catch myself in that moment. But what I was doing was somewhat imposing a mindset of lack, not only on my son, but reiterating it for myself. Here we are in a state of abundance. He got a lot of gifts. They were given to him, not me, right? And I'm telling him he can't open them. And why am I telling him that? What am I afraid of that's going to happen if he opens all of these gifts? Well, I was actually afraid of some things. I thought, well, he'll lose things, he'll break things, he won't put them away properly when it's time to clean up. But then when I thought about the implications of that, okay, well, if that's what you're fearing, is if those are the things you don't want to happen, you don't want him to break his toys when he just opened them, you don't want the toys to be all over the place. Like, what really is that going to impact in 5 years? In 5 years, will I care that he opened this toy? No, because he would have grown out of the toy by then, right? It wouldn't even be a thing for him. So I had to start realizing this mindset that I have is actually a mindset of lack. When you don't want someone to take advantage of the gifts that have been given to them, out of fear that he won't have anything to open tomorrow, how is that an abundant mindset? It's not. That's a lack mindset. So I had to check myself. I had to realize that even still, here I am years into this journey, and there are still things in my file that are showing up in different ways. And here it is, Christmas, right? No money involved per se. We're opening gifts. But this is a mindset that is impacting my financial life because that behavior comes up in those ways where I won't do something today because I'm afraid that there won't be anything tomorrow. If you have an abundant mindset and you practice abundance and motivating mindsets, you won't have to worry about that because you know there will be more tomorrow because you know that you can create more, right? You create the exact amount of your financial success. So, what am I worried about? Why am I tripping that he's going to open all of these gifts? So, that was a very enlightening experience for me. It showed me I still have work to do, and this is an ongoing journey. And it also showed me the implications of how these mindsets get passed down from generation to generation. Because now my son is going to incorporate that. He's going to adopt this idea that I can't open everything now because there won't be anything later. And that's just not the case. We don't want to perpetuate that. So, this is exactly why we have to go to the source of our mindsets, which is in our subconscious mind, which is, again, our blueprint, right? What has been built there? What is the layout that's been given to us from birth? And then as we live and we take on our adulthood, we add things to it. But now it's so packed. And the foundation are things that we didn't even put there, things that probably no longer serve us. So it's important that we go and excavate, get those things out of there. Okay. Awareness. Here we go. What did you hear about money growing up? What do you know that was always talked about? Money don't grow on trees, right? I'm not an ATM. Did you hear I'm broke? I don't have no money. Or I got to wait till the next paycheck. Or, well, we'll do that when we get X, Y, and Z. Being aware of where these mindsets came from is so important. But knowing what they are even more important because we can't change them if we don't know what they are. So I want to push you to identify exactly what you heard, saw, and experienced about money. Do you remember like going to the grocery store, going to stores and your parents' cards being declined and you having to leave all of the groceries there? I have had that experience. I vividly remember going to the grocery store, living in New York, and there wasn't enough on the card. I was so embarrassed, I just left. I didn't even put things back. I didn't try to get what I could afford. I just left. So the awareness of that experience is important because I need to clean that out. I need to get rid of that as I'm shifting. And I want you to do the same. What what did you hear, see, and grow? Or I'm sorry, what did you hear, see, and do with money? What were those experiences for you? Secondly, understanding the past. How has this impacted you today? You know, are you a super saver because you never had anything? Or are you a super spender because you never had anything? Right? Same beginning, different outcomes. I remember talking to one of my club members. I just started a Black Women's Investment Club. And one of the members said, you know, her sister is a super saver, whereas she isn't, but they grew up in the same household. And her sister has a lot more material things than she does, and she kind of doesn't understand why. Well, again, things impact us differently. So you may be the type who's like, oh, because I never had anything, I'm going to keep everything I have. Whereas other people are, because I never had anything, I'm going to enjoy everything I have when I get it. Two very different personalities, but it's important that you understand how your past is impacting your present, how it's showing up for you. Just like I gave you that example of the Christmas gifts for my son. I had to realize that that was because I was told that. I was always told, no, don't open that. You have enough open right now. Wait till later. Like, for what? It's just a toy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really at stake here? So it's important that we understand our past and how it's impacting our today. And once we do that, we then have to disassociate. We have to mentally tell ourselves that that is not what I chose. I was subconsciously taught that. And that's not a reflection of me. It's what I was born into. I actually can have different if I choose to. And that's what disassociation is about. It's about realizing that you can have what you want, especially when what you have, you didn't give yourself. You didn't put this mindset of lack into your life. More than likely, you were born with it. You didn't put the idea of not taking risk into your life. You were probably born with it. And then as a growing adult, it evolved. And now you own it and adopt it. And it's like second nature for you to never take risk. But we know in the world of investing, if you want your money to grow, you've got to take risk. So investing may be a very big step for you because you've always told yourself, I don't want to lose no money. I don't want to lose no money. Well, how can you make money if you're not willing to take on the risk of losing some of it? Investing has risk, and we know that investing is really the only way to grow our money. So that is another a clear example of how you can disassociate from certain mindsets and behaviors simply based on identifying where the source is and then realizing you didn't necessarily teach yourself that. If you can identify where it came from, you can now disassociate from it and say, that's not me. That's not what I want to be. That's not who I choose to be. I actually adopted that because I saw my parents do it all the time, or I saw my friends treat their money like that. And so when I got money, I did the same thing. I don't want that behavior anymore. It no longer serves me. So disassociate from it. And then once you disassociate, you can start to recondition yourself for what you do want to believe. You know, I used to be afraid of taking risks because I didn't want to lose any money. But now I understand that I have to take on a smaller bit of risk if I'm going to get some reward. If I want my money to grow, I do want to be an investor. And I'm going to learn how to take on strategic risk that's comfortable for me and doesn't put too much at jeopardy. That's a reconditioning, right? You're not stuck in the past about being afraid of taking risks, but now you realize the benefit of doing so. You say you want that, and you can have anything you want, but now you got to start putting that into practice. We're talking about it, we're conditioning our minds, we're doing the research, we're diving deep. So now it's time to take it on as a belief, as a new mindset, so we can start conditioning ourselves to believe that mindset. And then what? Behavior. If we believe it, we'll start to do things that support that mindset. And then what? Then we'll get the outcome associated with that mindset and that behavior. So that could look like you opening an investment account, funding it with $100, and placing your first trade. Mindset plus behavior equals outcome. So now what's the outcome? I actually have a stock in a portfolio. I went from not wanting to lose money to owning a small piece of a company, and now I'm an investor. That is a mindset shift supported by behaviors that are getting favorable outcomes. So is this for you? Is this kind of shift for you? Like, do you think this is above you? Do you think you're beyond this? Do you think you're A-okay because you pay your bills on time, you get a little extra, you have some left over every month, and you make it work? Is this for you? Well, here's one way to figure that out. Do you get money and lose it and then don't get it back? Does life happen to you? Are you playing the game not to lose? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you think small? Are you thinking negatively about selling yourself and putting yourself out there? Are you a poor receiver? Somebody gives you something, oh no, it's okay. Oh, can I help you, ma'am? Oh no, I got it. Do you get paid based on time? This was a big one for me. Time versus money, exchanging your time for money. Are you thinking either or? Okay, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. I have to choose one. Are you focused on income? Are you mismanaging money well? Get that? mismanaging money well? Do you buy expenses, things that just don't have any value in terms of creating more assets or creating streams of income? Once you buy it, it's done, sunken cost. Do you collect bills? And do you let fear stop you? Get very excited about an idea, but you start to think about why it can't happen. If so, you're financially unfit. And this is for you. If you identify with any of these characteristics, this is for you because you are financially unfit. And we want to shift that, right? We want to change that. We want to get money, lose it, and then get it back. We want to create the life that we want versus thinking life is happening to me and I'm just responding all the time. It's always something, right? We want to play the game to win. It's like, who wakes up and says, oh, I can't wait to lose today. Oh, I can't wait to go halfway in today. Who does that, right? We play to win. We're all in. We commit to being wealthy. We don't just want to be wealthy. We have made a decision to be wealthy. And that is going to permeate into our mindset. So then we support it with the behavior. Do we think big, right? I want to serve thousands and thousands of people in my business. That's thinking big versus, the few hundred that I've served already. Willing to promote yourself and your value. So many of us are starting businesses, have side hustles, but we don't want to be salesy. We don't want to come off too salesy to people. Well, how are you going to make a sale if you don't sell? You've got to be able to promote yourself enthusiastically and with passion. Otherwise, why should I buy from you? You must be an excellent receiver. So many of us are horrible receivers. People say, oh, well, let me help you out. No, I got it. Or I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody to know I need help. Well, how are you going to get the help if nobody knows it? You have to be able to receive. Let that man help you with them groceries. Let that kid come and cut your lawn. Let somebody wash the car for you today. Let somebody cook you breakfast. Be an excellent receiver. Get paid based on your results. We're starting side businesses. We talk about additional streams of income. Get paid based on your results. Try to get away from the hourly wage, the salary, right? If you know the work you do helps someone else create $1,000, then get paid based on the $1,000 that that person is going to have as a result of working with you. Okay? That's what that means. Focus on net worth. Net worth is about assets and liabilities. If not, we're just staying in the income and expenses range. That's one level. But if we want to level up, we got to start thinking about assets, liabilities. Those two things create our net worth. And we have to shift and become good money managers. It's that simple. And that's what part of this training is about, giving you a skill set, a tool, a system, a know-how on how to do something. That tool today is how to shift your mindset. This is a part of managing your money well. Just like a budget, it's a tool to help you manage your money well. Buy assets. Instead of buying another purse, another car, another lace front, another watch, buy an asset, buy some land, buy a stock, invest in a small business, buy an asset so it can create more money for you. Collect land. It's finite. There's no more of it. It cannot be reproduced unless we go to another planet. And even then, we're not producing it. It is what it is. Land is a finite resource. Get you some of it. And act in spite of fear. You can't let fear hold you back. It's just false evidence against reality. It's not even real. It's what's in your mind. You might think, oh, if I put this product out, nobody's going to buy it. Have you actually put the product out? No. So go ahead, put it out. Then see if people buy it versus stopping yourself from putting it out because you think no one is going to buy it. That's fear. Stop acting in fear. Act in spite of it. When you do these things, you shift and you gain these characteristics, you're financially fit. Now you're positioned to receive all of the things that are for you and so easily. so easily. And then you'll look back at your previous behaviors and your previous track records, and it'll make so much sense as to why you were getting those results. Like, dang, that's why my account was overdrawn every month. Not because I just didn't have enough, not because I'm just a spender, but because it was a behavior instilled in me based on my blueprint. There was something going on there, right? There was a value I didn't have, a mindset I needed to adopt. Now that you've done the work, now that you know how to shift it, you'll start to see different results. So now what? Got this information. What do you do with it? I invite you to go deeper. I really invite you to take this so serious, like your life depends on it. And to an extent, your financial life does. I was just listening to a mindset training last night, and he said, if you don't build wealth, this was from Bob Proctor, if you don't build wealth, you'll always be dependent on someone else's money. That is what's at stake. So you must take this serious in terms of the intangible work you need to do on your mindset so that your mindset can support behaviors that we're out here in the world doing, and then we'll get the outcomes we're seeking. So what does it mean to go deeper? Well, you need more information. You've got to continue to get educated. And it's great to do these things in a network. In launching the Black Women's Investment Club, I learned that every member of this club wanted to be around other Black women who were on the same level, who were thinking the exact same thing, who wanted to learn more about investing. That's a network. We naturally want that. We want to be around people who are on the same thing as we are, right? So you need a network to continue your growth, to help you when you're feeling down and you're just not feeling it. Maybe it's an accountability partner that you develop a relationship with. Whatever that is, it's a network essentially. You need that to support you. And then the accountability. Maybe it's one on one, maybe it's in a group, but this is where you start to work with someone. You're not doing this stuff alone. Because you can learn everything you need to learn, but you may not do it, right? That's what we started this conversation off talking about, knowing better but not doing it. That's where accountability comes into play. So, Mastermind Money University, that's my solution for you. That is my offer to you, is to enroll. Mastermind Money University is about coaching. We provide private coaching in one-on-one form, in group formats, and through masterminds that meet publicly. So we're not just behind the computer. We're coming out into the world. We're meeting with each other. And it's ongoing support. And then there's courses and programs. One of my signature programs is Build. And in Build, you literally are building a financial foundation that you can then create assets and then grow those assets. And that foundation consists of your mindset, your budget and net worth, your savings, your credit, your debt, your income, your protection, and wrap it all up with the financial action plan. That way you know where you're headed. And then the community. I tend not to use Facebook groups because I think it's a bit distracting. So you got to get on Facebook, see what everybody else is posting even before you get to the group for the support that you need. So I like to use WhatsApp. It's a way for me to be in touch with clients on the go, and it's a way for me to provide encouragement. I might be out and see something, I could take a picture and send it right out, and then you get to respond when you're ready or not. You could just see what everyone else is saying, but it allows you an opportunity to see what other people are thinking and talking about with respect to whatever topic we're involved in or whatever program you're enrolled in. And then there's live events and trainings. So I invite you to schedule a discovery session with me. Let's talk about where you are. Let's stop going it alone and see how what I offer may be a good fit for you. And even if it's not a good fit for you, at least you've gotten some professional support and you have an idea of what might be a good fit for you, what you're ready for. Because it's not about coaching with me. You may need the do-it-yourself online educational piece where you could go in there, get your lesson, and then apply it when you're ready. That's what Build is about. It's an online, self-paced, do-it-yourself online experience where you learn about money and you do what you learn. That way you know better and you're doing better, right? And by doing that, we're growing our net worth one step at a time. This is a free call, and I would love for you to take advantage of it. And then we're going to have open enrollment. It's going to be beginning really soon for Master My Money University. Open enrollment for this season is going to be March 6th, 2020. So stick around and look out for that. You're already on the email list, so just be sure you pay attention to the emails that are coming your way. And once Master My Money University opens for enrollment, you will get that information. And I promise you, it is going to be something that you would want to be involved in, and it is not going to break your bank. It's going to be the most affordable thing that you've probably seen in the market for what I'm offering: the education, the coaching, the support. Um, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in the marketplace. And to the extent that I have, it's just education. But we're actually doing the work. So if we're going to learn about a budget, we're going to create the budget, and then you have an opportunity to check in with me about it. Okay, so that's how Master My Money is different. Again, we're talking conversations, we're talking mindsets, and we're talking skill sets, not just education. You're going to learn how to do what you're learning. You're going to put it to use. Okay, so here it is. Reach out to me. You've got my contact information. I would love to hear from you. Please let me know how this training was for you. And again, use that worksheet. Go back and listen to this or pause it if you need in certain areas, but do the work. Get started. Take that first step. Peace.